So now we have the neckline here. You can see the facing edge, the facing neckline, the actual neckline of the garment, our back neck, and our other necklines over here with the facing. So now we're going to sew in the collar. Now we've already got the collar prepared. Did it before. Remember, the interfacing goes on top, and this edge here, which we prepared, goes on top when we're sewing. And what we need to do, we have a notch here, and the collar, the edge of the collar lines up with that notch. So we're not worried about the facing just at the moment. All we're doing is sewing the actual collar in position. So by lining the edge of the collar up with that notch, we can start sewing. Now we'll just start sewing, and then you can see, now it does get a little bit tricky because we need the the shoulder notch to line up with the actual shoulder, and this is the neckline slightly on the bias, so make sure that you don't pull that because you'll stretch it and it will make it too long. So you need to manipulate it so that, and you can put a pin in there if you need to. Just make sure that your neck edge and the raw edge of the collar are matched up together, making sure that you're not creating any pleats, and I'll show you a close-up of that at the moment. Now when we get to this point here, make sure that you don't sew over top of this edge here. What we're doing is we're going from the double layer of the collar to the single layer of the under collar. And you can do a little back tack there if you want to, and then we're just going to swing that around, and at this stage we can pull the top collar out of the way because we're just sewing the under collar onto the neckline. So around to the back neck notch, and then we'll match up our shoulder notch here, and as we come to the other shoulder notch, put your top collar back in place, and you can lift your foot up so that it's tucked, so this edge is tucked under the foot. And now we're sewing through both layers of the collar again. Now get started and make sure that you match up the notch with the edge of the collar, and so you don't do something like this because it means that this extension will be out of whack with the other collar, with the other side of the garment. So match that up there and put a pin in there if you need to, and then work your way towards that point. And like I said, the neckline will be slightly stretchy because it's on the bias, so just be careful that you don't stretch that under collar. And then back tack at the front there. And if I fold that over, now I can check to see that there's no tucks in my neckline, and on the other side, no tucks in my neckline. So I've matched it up at the center front, matched the notches there, matched the notches at the shoulder, but I haven't caught that top collar there. Match the shoulder seams with the notch on that side, and then match the notch at the center front.